There we are live for yet another wonderful discussion on EQ Talks with empowering women who empower themselves and raising their bars across to help other women. I know a client a woman client who is a working professional, and her world starts, her day starts before the whole world wakes up, which means she's an early riser and she makes sure that she packs the lunchbox, she prepares all the dinner. When she comes back from home, in between she attends all the meetings, deadlines, family's expectations, and also aspiring coach. So she wants to go out there to be able to tell people the mistakes that she has done, and also helping them to be able to manage their work and life. So whatever she has gone through, she want to tell the world out there that there's a way to do. So what she has found herself during the sleepless nights that she had after finishing the entire day of tiring meetings and all that, she goes through a self-reflection. So this has been a superpower for her. So instead of setting aside her emotions, she started using them, leveraging them for driving her for a better performance. So using her own emotions, she got to know that there is something else what she needs to attend to. And she, slowly, incrementally, she started finding her passion and talents. And taking help of a mentor, started understanding that this is what is her mission. Now, apart from all the regular routines that she does to be able to contribute to her family in every other way, she also figured out that there is some extra thing, there is an expansion in her, it's throbbing to, come out of her. So she figured out using her own emotions and her own strategies, and she's all out there to tell the world this is the way forward for all those people, all those women who struggle balancing their work and life and their ambitions. So I'm going to be bringing two incredible guests on the same lines. This could be a story about you, about me, or about anybody else. Any woman who's watching this can also resonate. Before I bring my incredible guest, I would like you to chat in the comments. Give me a comment saying, I resonate with this. If you do so, it is, it's a message for everybody that we all carry the same challenge, same message, same throbbing inside us. And using this EQ Talks, I have figured out that all these guests, whoever comes, has a common pattern. And I'm being a host, it's a privilege and honor to be able to spot that out and to be able to give it to the audience that we all have. So today I'm going to be inviting two of our wonderful guests, and before I do so, I want you to type in the chat, I resonate with this. I'm saying a hi to 1 minute, before which I am just going to invite our guest. People who have joined here. Abundant Prajatka. Hello there. Thank you so much. Next breakthrough, our guest is waving. Katie, Ruchi, thank you for tuning in. Hiran. Okay, let's see who we've got. In case you're able to see me, hear me, give me your hi in the chat. In the meantime, just making sure logistics are taken care. And Lata, if you have joined, tell me a hi, and we'll figure out if there is anything that we need to take care. And I'm also inviting the other guest. So how many of you here do feel that balancing the work life and relationship expectations is something that we as a woman, we have learned it along the ways. It's not a overnight strategies that anybody can share and you go and apply, it's going to happen, right? So what is that one word comes to your mind when you go through this challenge? How did you feel and what motivated you? All right, so Lata says she's here. I'm just going to again invite my guest and just making sure that they are comfortable coming online. Okay, so you there?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Ah, all the way from Bangalore, Bengaluru. Okay. I'm going to make sure that Hiran also gets in comfortably. In the meantime, um, I am asking our audience, all the common audience, um, give us a hi, hello, and also tell us what is that one word comes to your mind. It could be a women audience, women folks, or it could be even a man, who goes through balancing act. But because we are celebrating womanhood this entire month, we are celebrating the women, feminine quality. It's not about the gender, but it's the feminine quality. You may be a man who could be a um, work from home dad, or who could be that pillar of support for that woman to be able to, step out and demonstrate who she is actually is. You could be the one who's could be the backbone for her. Give me one word in the comments. What do you feel? In the meantime, I am going to ask Lata to also give her, should we ask Hiran to log in again so she will be able to see my invite? Because she's also dialing from Bangalore and coming on Insta Live is logistically for everybody, it's pretty new. So, all right, Lata. So, in the meantime, we will start with your words, few words about you. And I did give them an introduction from where you are, but I would love to, introduce yourself by from your words. What do you do, and what are you currently working for, and what could be your walk of life, and what you are aspiring to do.
Thanks, Brinda. Thanks for having me, first of all. And what do I do? I have been on the corporate, I'm a software engineer by profession, and I've been in the corporate world for about 20 years now. And it has been a journey, like you said. There are, career never goes alone. It is like, it's the parallel thing that runs along when life is happening. And uh, the challenges are that, like, you're growing older, your life is happening, your parents grow older, like, all of those challenges are happening while you're trying so hard to concentrate on your career as well. And that, um, corporate itself is like a big challenge to it's a ocean sometimes, because when you're working for big companies, especially MNCs or anything, there is that whole thing that you're lost in the crowd, and how do you make a mark for yourself? That is the problem that people actually struggle with. Um, so because I have that corporate experience and what I have struggled with, what I have seen, and how I have built my own, uh, career now, it is it has been a learning experience for me to understand how do I navigate, how do I get those breakthroughs for myself in the corporate and the thing. And what am I trying to do is to get to become a coach. I also do something called EFT, which is trauma informed therapy methodology, and that kind of helps me to that actually helped me find my own balance. I The stress of the corporate job, stress of life got to me. I was very sick for 3-4 years back, and then with EFT, I was able to heal myself and come back to a place where, I'm really very well functional and everything. So now I want to take that to everybody else.
Absolutely.
because I understand what that struggle feels like.
Absolutely.
And that is where I'm coming from.
Super. So, in essence, you've been with corporate for a long time and very successfully. And corporate is like the main, aspect of income. So, it's like we are tied up to it. Yet,
True.
you have, taken that extra step to be able to spot your, talent or a passion, or to be able to improve that skill. Maybe because something had happened that you don't want other people to go through. And that
True.
is why we are doing what we are doing. On that essence, initially I would like to touch upon the women aspect. And then I thought I will eat your brain to be able to go back to refresh your memories and tell us some experience
Mm.
about your personal life,
Yeah.
what has transformed you, and then, why you're doing what you're doing. So, in general, what do you think as a corporate person? What do you think women in the corporate life seems to be underrating their superpower? If that is so, what is that one superpower? And how has it helped you in your life?
The superpower is women actually can do much more than men in the corporate. But the problem is that they don't recognize it.
Exactly. What is that one superpower?
They can multitask, men can't. Their brains are not wired to multitask. We are wired to multitask. We can multitask.
Very
Really,
nice.
truly, that is our actual true biggest superpower, and we give it so less value.
Less importance,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that you kind of write it off because it's the way you are built, with the way our brains are actually wired.
Absolutely.
So we are wired to be multitaskers, and that is our actual superpower.
Okay. You put it so straightforward. And we are, right? It cannot be denied because the roles that we take, the multiple roles that we take, may be or may not be equal to the men, but it's definitely higher in terms of qualitative aspect. And how can we quantify it is because the number of transactions that our brain is able to allow us to take it on. That could be one differentiator, as you rightly said. So, many of us struggle, even though we multitask. Many women struggle with a lot of areas, right? So,
Yeah,
in your perspective, if I take you one step deep to understand, even though we multitask, even though that superpower is still within us, but still there could be some incidents in our life. It could be from your childhood or when as you're growing or maybe building your career, or even at present taking care of your parents or with your in-laws or managing children on the parenting journey. What is that one area that you really felt, you know, deep shit that you are not able to bounce back? That this is it. You thought you're done. Somewhere you lost your identity due to self
yeah,
doubt or emotionally draining.
yes,
Something which is pulling you down, you are not able to knock it out, but then something happened to you and
yeah.
it transformed. What will be one incident that you can share it with us?
I can definitely say this, that when the lockdown happened during COVID, that was the time when the entire office thing has, came home. Like, we brought our office came home basically. And so we were, you know, the stress of everything, like in India, we're really blessed that we have a lot of support system. We can get, help come home. We have a maid
Yeah,
coming in and everything. But during COVID was when it hit us that, we can't operate really without that health system, and that system was gone. And I was doing everything, right? Groceries and being very careful with everything we are bringing in. And because you have such really old people at home, you have to be extra careful and all of that. Plus doing all the office work, plus taking care of my nephew,
family
ensuring his schooling is
expectations.
happening, my parents are fine, everybody else is happy, and like, everybody is in that cooped up space. That stress really got to me. And I was already stressed, but it was like I had never addressed it per se as stress. We'll take care of it later, 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 later. You go into that loop of being in the later loop. But during that COVID time, it was like it became now, take care of me now kind of a thing, and then the body kind of gave way. I started like really leading really heavily. I suddenly it just went to an extreme where I could not actually operate, and I was not responding to any medication. I was not able to do anything. But the one thing that was in my mind was, if I am going to allow myself to become bedridden, I'm never going to be on bounce back, because that felt like, this is it. Every night I would think that, okay, maybe I'm going to just bleed to death in the night. That used to be the thing. And that was when EFT happened for me. I learned EFT, and went into a whole journey of learning a whole lot of things actually. I learned with NLP, I learned hypnotherapy, and a lot of things, somatic work, and trying to get that vagal nervous system regulation and all of those things. And I kind of worked internally. And the moment I started working on things internally was when the changes started happening externally. For example, I'll give you some, historically, I've never had, I was underrated, underpaid, all of that was true. But the moment with EFT, I cleared one money belief. The belief had happened in childhood. And the belief was that I can't be trusted with money. And so historically, any hike cycle, any bonus cycle, I would be the last person to get the remaining part. And the day I changed that one money belief, 2 weeks later, I got without asking for it, without opening my mouth, I got a salary correction happening. And it was like a really huge amount, which that kind of a percentage is something I did not get even when I switched jobs. And so I was like blown, saying, oh, this probably is going to work. And the moment the money thing resolved, the equation kind of started setting itself right. So one stress, there are 100 stressors, family, career, money, and everything is going on. Everything is at the height. The one moment, the one stressor comes down in that whole graph, everything starts coming down. So that was my moment of, switch, because it was also my lowest point, but it was also the point at which my transformation started.
Wonderful. Beautiful. So I totally resonate when you say this, because it is coming from you and your experience is so very true. No, there's no denial. And that is why you're doing what you're doing right now. So in the interest of your audience as well, my audience know about me. Thank you so much for coming to this session, because this is where we are eating that real, we want that real you, that raw journey, and that superpower comes only with those raw experiences when you share, especially when you become vulnerable at this point of time. So I also, as a host, I put myself to make sure that every live that I do is also some vulnerable part of me comes out as well. By hosting the guest, I'm able to see a common pattern. We are no bit different. Whether we are here close to each other or overseas, it's no big difference. And when you rightly said, India has support system. The accessibility that you get in India is totally absent when you step out of India. I am a life testimonial for it for a long time now. And everything is upon us. So imagine the drain that we go through physically, mentally, and emotionally. Emotionally, it's something we think it's the last cascading effect, but ironically, as we age, the age factor gets in, and then the number of responsibilities that we handle and heated up situations when you are all alone effect first hitting our emotional well-being. And then it gets manifested physically. We will be even wondering, I never had the symptoms. When did I even, do this? To be able to get into this mode of, physical exhaustion. So that's where even it hit me hard after, going through 2 times of burnout. Before I stepped into US, There was a burnout because I paused my career, and then I was into getting into a business entrepreneurship. First time, first generation business entrepreneur in my entire family legacy. Nobody even have any clue of any GST registration also. So for me also, it is entirely different world, and with full of men and dominating women out there. I never had any clue what I'm supposed to do after my career, especially when my lowest self-esteem. And my child was toddler, and life is taking over. I had to go to US. Now
Yeah.
after US, I thought it could be something that we can settle down, but it was entirely different ball game. And my guests who came, the last previous episodes, are also my clients and friends across USA. So USA, Canada, or anywhere you step out of India, the game is totally different. You got to have a different
Absolutely.
mindset, different approach, different lifestyle altogether. And
Yeah.
especially when you're out there doing anything extra than your routine, you get it. It's going to come on to you. If not
Yes.
now, it'll definitely come on to you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
see the same pattern coming here in India, like a side hustle and all that, right? So
Mm.
people take so much, understanding what is the impact that side hustle comes. If
Yes.
not, what about the other than the monetary effect? What are the other effects? In a bit, we are going to be also touching upon that because I very
Yeah.
well know that when we got connected, I think it's my honor to touch upon those areas when we got connected and how it was, uh, how it was so lively to know each other. Whenever I come to India, to attend my parents and in-laws, and I also make sure that I attend some training programs, be part of my professional network. And I never felt, there we go.
Finally.
Hello there. I manifested your presence now.
Thank you so much. I was
I,
trying hard from my
I
laptop since this
no
is my
dear.
first time as well.
We couldn't
So
have
I had some
done without
logistics
you. So I really
issues.
manifested, believe me or not. While
Thank you,
I'm,
thank you.
talking to Lata, I really did that. Okay, welcome. I was just touching upon some personal connection that we made, and you bang on, you came at the right time. You were both there to welcome me out of nowhere. I never knew Hiran at that point of time. I only know Lata over calls and all that. But I had a warmest welcome. I never felt I was out of India, and I'm coming back to my homeland with no contacts, right? Especially attending those intense programs with our mentors, it's a different ball game. But when you come back to your room, you want that kind of a frequency person, right? You don't want to let go of that energy that you gained in that training hall, and then when you come back, you don't want to spill it out. But you both made it so contained, and I mean it was like all of us thriving in the same frequency with throughout those journey, right? Late night sleeps, or early morning. I always, I think at the end of the program I even scolded here and say, you know what, please let me sleep. She'll wake up in the morning, and I can't stop myself getting inspired, like having that kind of a work life balance that she has to do, because deadlines, meetings, back to back calls, and also handling her in-laws, kids, two kids,
Yeah.
and as well as relationship, tantrums and all that. What about her own satisfaction, right? And in that 3 4 days is when we are like free, and that too the training programs keeps us going, like takes us to left, right, and center. And when we come back in the room, we just want to relax and talk to that kind of people who can really make sense, right? And you did that for me. I can't thank you more for those days, not just those days, but also when I come back to us, when I the thought of me have to travel back to US has always been heavy, because for you, you can always access. So the accessibility is all the time missing for me. I've really felt lonely. But now it's like this Insta Live is again a manifestation, I believe. There's somewhere I throbbed that I want to get connected virtually or wherever we are. And so is my purpose also, that we're just going to touch upon those areas. Now I'm going to welcome Hiran, in the interest of our audience. Tell us who you are, where you are from, and what you do shortly.
Thank you, and most privileged to have me on your show, Brinda. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
sharing
for coming.
with Lata, so this is more privileged for me. And yeah, I am Hiranmay, and I'm a working IT professional. So past 20 years, I'm in IT industry, and yeah, a lot of challenges there. So I'm from Bangalore, and yeah, we all met in one of the intensive programs we underwent for personal development. I think that is where my journey started. That is where I started connecting to my higher self. So I want to help more people. I've been doing this offline without my awareness. Uh, in the corporate world, a lot of women go through a lot of challenges and they want somebody to listen to them or think out of the box kind of environment, right? They are not in that kind of environment. Sometimes it is like, totally they think that we are the only ones who is suffering. So when we talk to them and we make them understand that you're not alone, there are a lot of people who are also going through the same, they feel more relieved and they feel very comfortable sharing things with you. So I was doing this offline, and that is when we got connected to this life coach thing, and I wanted to do something about this to the greater world in
Mm.
coming days. So,
And you
yeah.
recognize your superpower there, right? Wonderful. So I just happened to eat Lata's brain in terms of bringing her personal raw journey, like based on which we could identify the reason behind what she's doing right now. What are all the stuffs that she's doing and extra also. So similarly with you, Hiran, is there any one area in your personal life that you felt really lowest bottom of your life and you had to really bounce back? It could be reasons like, in your parenting journey or in your childhood, back to your childhood, building your career, or parent thrusting their dreams upon us, or any areas that got you emotionally drained, physically drained, and you were not yourself. And how did you bounce back? Is there any one experience that you can share?
Yeah, like in certain situations, I was emotionally low, but in my childhood or in my growing up days, but I was able to bounce back. That was unconsciously happening with me. But the real test of time was when I had my second baby
Mm,
in during COVID, and
mm,
that is when I started thinking, what am I doing to myself?
mm, mm.
What am I getting out of all this? And what am I trying to achieve? What are my goals? What is my purpose? Everything I started questioning myself, and I saw I
Ah, there we go.
a phase where I was totally drained emotionally and I did not get that emotional support. Though my family says, or anybody looks at me now in this condition, they say, yeah, you have so much support in and around you. I mean, my parents, my in-laws, my siblings, everybody are there to me. Anytime I need help, they're there. But there is something going on inside, right? There's no answer for it. And I couldn't find answer with these people around. So that is when I started my inward journey. So I started
Exactly.
drawing boundaries.
Grace. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch the replay, both of you, this was a
Yeah.
story of a client where exact same story, where she started listening to herself, during those sleepless nights when the entire world is slept, and those are the times that inner struggle started answering her seeking. And when she started listening to her emotions is when she started connecting as to who she is really and what does she want to do, what is the data and wisdom coming out of it. And I think it's the same pattern, right?
Yeah.
That's the one revelation, common revelation that I get not only during this Insta lives, but also attending, wherever I am, even in US or whether here, all the women carry common challenges. It's just that intensity and degree angle could be different from various levels. But challenges are common and even strategies are common. It'll be so wonderful to, when you watch those replays, you will know everybody talks about the same thing in their own personal style,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that is leading me to ask you the next very question, because you are from working environment, I mean, there and still there as a corporate professional. So I must have to touch upon that area, that what is that biggest professional challenge that you had gone through and how did you overcome it? It could be an area where, workplace bias, some conflicts, or gender, inequality, or it could be working with teams and handling the pressures as well as your family chores and all that, eating up your, energy and all that. Or it could be asking for promotions, or those handling those critical conversations as a leader. So any particular area that you felt challenging, and in the interest of time, just one area, and how did you overcome? Because it will definitely help our audience, whoever is in the same walk of life. I'll
Yeah.
go with Lata. I'll give some break
Okay.
for Hiran.
Okay. This is a good question because I actually train other women inside my company for the same thing. And the biggest thing that I found was women struggle with self-promotion. You know, uh, case in point, we don't apply to jobs unless we list, out of 10 out of 10, if we are not meeting all those requirements, we will never apply for those jobs. Men would apply even if they're meeting 2 of those requirements. They'll say, we'll bring the remaining 8,
We'll bring the
we'll go and
remaining
apply
8.
for the 8.
We'll go and apply for the 8.
But then the same thing happens with calling out the work, right? Women look for how much effort was it for me instead of looking at the impact of that work. Men always call out their work from the perspective of the impact they caused by solving that small problem. It could be a small problem for you. The effort has been probably this much, because we are multitaskers, we probably spent half an hour to solve it. But we will think from, oh, it was just a half an hour work. We don't call it out. But when men are calling it out, because they're looking at the impact, they have the bigger picture. Women don't have that. That is the thing that I find women or actually train women to look at. What is the impact of the solution? And then when you call out the impact, that's when you go and start putting yourself up front. They don't. We struggle with self promotion. That was my problem because I thought I should not do it, and my work should do all the talking because that is how we are brought up. My mother brought us up with that thing that you should
Absolutely.
be seen, not heard. Your work should be seen, not heard, and we expect that same thing in the corporate as well.
So how did what one strategy have you used, and then what are you using currently to be able to overcome that?
Yeah, this is the same thing, no? That I call out the impact. I look at the impact first of all. I have to sell it to myself that it is good enough to be called out, right?
Okay.
So I
Got
look
it.
at the impact, look at the big picture, look at the impact, and talk about my solutions or whatever I do from the perspective of the impact it causes. And immediately the conversations are completely different.
Absolutely, bang on. It is when it is coming from you, right? It's so very raw and bold because you are at present dealing with all that struggles, and it is very minute thing. It may even go unnoticed.
Yes.
But this is what is bringing a huge impact, not by faking it,
Yes.
but actually it's just that little, mindset shift.
Yes.
That if you could just focus on this instead of that, maybe
Yeah.
your conversation could highlight your thing, and that's a promotion could be even a effortless one.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Lata. Thank you so much for coming that. Hiran, are you ready?
Yeah. So in my case, yeah, I have seen one of the lowest part of career where I had to raise my voice and stand for my team, and it had backfired. And
My God.
due to which I was rated low in my appraisal. So this was one experience where I did not expect something of this sort would happen to me. You cannot stop me. I will show you what I'm capable of. So I progressed from there. I came out of that toxic environment. I chose a different project, and then I worked with different managers like within a span of 2 years, I had to work with 4 different managers. So every 6 months, I had to work with a different manager, and finally, I got my promotion.
Mm.
That did not.
Your voice is actually breaking, but if I understood keywords from you, Hiran, we lost you in between. Are you with us?
I think she has a network problem. Yeah, she's back, I think.
Okay. So you are audible. Your screen is frozen, but you can speak to us. Yes, keep speaking.
So
We can connect
yeah,
with you.
I
Yes,
worked
yes,
with different
very well.
managers, and I showed what my capabilities are, what my expertise is.
Mm.
That is when they, recognized my efforts, and then they had, done the appraisal for the next year, and then they said you are eligible for promotion. And after that, COVID started, so I got delayed. 1 year later, I got my promotion.
Mm.
So I worked it
Right?
out that way. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, keywords is, when I look at Hiran and her conversations with me, has always been around. I think you nailed it now in your personal life also, right? Because there are two key points I would like to, pinpoint. Even as a coach, as an emotional intelligence coach, I can clearly see through because I told you my backstory is about burnout. A killer in my life has been burnout. So my entire mission is to help women how to automate their life and business so that they don't get into the burnout. So whenever I converse with my friends, with my clients, I clearly can see one tactic that we all miss as a woman is setting boundaries, right? While you did try that, Hiran, from your side, but it had backfired you. It's just that we don't have to quit doing it. We just have to see how diplomatically, how differently can we actually communicate it so that it's definitely going to work. Because I also see, because we are not putting our foot down and say what we want to convey, it is not just in the workplace. My super mentor, my mentor always says, you and business are not different. You and work is not going to be different. Where you being in the kitchen or you being in the boardroom is not going to be different. I used to always think, how is it even, how is it even equal? And it's counterintuitive that we are going to be demonstrating who we are, our patterns are, everything is hardwired. So most of the times our patterns are autopilot. If only you are aware that you're in the kitchen, like you just have to relax and all that. And whenever you are like pressed hard, then the kitchen becomes different for your child. So that's how we are going to be in the boardroom also. So setting boundaries also have to happen personally as well, or in all aspect, whether it is associations, simple stranger conversation getting into a casual and friendly, becoming a thick friendship and all that, that could also turn toxic if we are not aware of what we are going through. So, in essence, setting boundaries could be one thing that will work as a wonderful strategies at workplace. It did work for you, and we are going to be taking that insight from you as a golden tip. Followed which, I'm just going to say a hi to all of our audience because before Hiran joined, we did acknowledge a lot of people joining in. So Prajakta 1111, I'm so sorry I couldn't bring you live, but thank you so much. You're being live with us. Katie Bairuchi, my good old friend, hi. And Conscious Vibe, hello there.
Me.
Kashik, okay, what is it?
No, Conscious is vibe it from my network. She is
Oh,
another coach, but she's
okay.
my friend.
Big, okay, big shout out to you and virtual hugs. Thank you for being here. Kashik
Prajakta,
Gulati.
my network. She's
Oh,
been my biggest support, and she's one of my inspiration too.
Kashika, is it?
Prajakta.
Prajakta.
Prajakta. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry I couldn't acknowledge you in the beginning. And she's there before you, Hiren. You see
Yeah,
the
yeah.
support, man. That's unique about us also, right? I just called out for help to be able to overcome my fear in Insta Live. And you must see the overwhelming response. They opted to help me, but in essence, they got helped, right?
Yeah.
Unconsciously, consciously, we are helping each other.
Yes.
And that's why we are who we are as a coach also, because we want to be there out there to the world to say, don't do this mistake I've been to. Don't do this. Instead, you figure it out and you can lean on us, right? So on that note, I'm just going to ask you, like, the side hustle has become very a typical word right now, and it's gone to a different meaning. But we as a coach want to see this as a mission or a purpose, right? So on that note, I know both of you are in the same lines, and hence we got connected as well. So what do you do? And more importantly, how has it helped you in your emotional well-being? Because there's a one beautiful competency called pursuing noble goals,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, Whether we know this competency or not, we are actually doing that.
Yeah.
And I really want to know, put it out to our audience that it is that important competency which is keeping us, like, women like us, really self motivated all the way. Like, we wake up for some reason
Yes.
apart from our routine, we do that extra bit. That is what is exciting us at this day and
Yes.
age, especially with age, with aging factor and all that, midlife crisis and all that coming in. We really have to have that kind of a support, right? So what do you guys do, and how has it helped in your emotional well-being? One by one, I'll go with Kiran with this time.
Yeah, so as I said, I was doing it offline. Now I am more actively connecting with people, more women in my office, and through network, I met you. Then we have Suma, then Sirisha. So people like this in our network, our own community. I started helping them on money manifestation or connecting to their higher self in times of chaos. So sometimes we think that we don't have any support, we have to do something or give up. So people reach out to me in such scenarios and I help them and we help each other that way. So
And
I want to make it more.
how has it individually helped you, Kiran, as an individual?
Yeah, it has, I mean, the same question when I ask to myself, because when I go through something like similar to that, how will I handle myself and what is the self talk I need to have?
Mm,
Because self talk is very important at that point of time, right?
absolutely.
Pattern. So that self talk is more important. So I keep, instead of they talking to themselves, I help them to have their self talk more positive, think from a positive perspective. Like a lot of my other friend in my networks, so she had some issues with parents. So whatever she does, she gets a feedback at this age also. After having a baby, also she gets a feedback. So she's like kind of very frustrated with her parents. So I tell her like just pause it, don't react. So slow down and think why it's positive.
Mm, great. Super. Your we I got that essence. I'm gonna, you know, all right here. Your voice was breaking in the last few sentences, but we got that essence. So self-talk is one key strategies which has helped you. And also to be able to combat that negative voice in us, despite of having those affirmations and self-talk. And I think as an emotional intelligence coach, it is also not just important to have intrinsic motivation by using all this beautiful tools like gratitude or self-talk and affirmation vision and all that, but it is also important to have an external accountability, because that's where you have helped others, right? That's where they have leaned on you as an external accountability beyond what they have to do within themselves. So that's why we call us as unique superpowers within us as a coach, right? So now I'd like to ask Lata as to what kind of extra thing that you're doing, uh, and then how has it helped you in your emotional well-being?
Oh, like I said, I did a lot of courses for myself, and it was I never joined any of them for with that intention that okay, I'll get certified and so I'll go and help others. But it so happened that it helped me, and once I've seen the transformation in me is when I went back to my teacher and said, hey, I want to be certified, and then I went and got a lot of certifications. And then now I've been already been coaching a lot of people, not just in my network. Organically, word of mouth, I get a lot of people coming in, and so I'm doing it only in the weekends, and so I can provide sessions for like 4 or 5 people on a Saturday or a Sunday or something like that. So that's how I'm managing. But I've done more than about 300 hours of coaching till now, and what I help people with is and understand where their stressing point is. Like, what is that one aspect of their life that they want to change, and we go to the root cause of why that issue is showing up in their lives. So we are not just the physical or just the mental part of it. We are not just the mind. We're not just the body. We are it stacks up the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. All aspects together is what makes us as people, right? And so the things that I learned are all in every part of it. Like, so I've done energy healing. I, bring in EFT, which is like marrying all of these together. So I kind of integrate everything, the psychotherapy with EFT. So that is what I'm doing.
Very nice. So
How
you
it helps
beautifully.
me is that the moment I help you, like, say for example, if you're my client, as I'm doing for you is when I'm actually also tapping on myself, and so it is like a double benefit for me.
Absolutely.
That's how
Absolutely.
I'm benefiting out of
Absolutely. A lot of things that you just said, I have to summarize and I have to pick up those keywords because those are the things that people who are watching, or even me, like when you say, as you do for your clients, you are, enlightened or evolving.
Yeah,
It's the same way with me, even in this Insta live,
true.
I observe a lot. So, couple of things that you started mentioning is that you did that course for yourself. So that
Yeah,
is the beginning point, that you
yeah,
wanted to attend to your emotions. There's something which is telling you something that you want to pay attention. So that's the
true.
first step towards emotional intelligence, of being aware, of start noticing as to what is happening within you,
Yeah,
and you started acting on it, taking that gut feeling to be able to have that courage, and started investing your time and effort for that one emotion or one residue that is being left in you.
yeah,
I think that is the first step for your emotional well-being. And then you also started regulating your emotions, right?
true,
Using EFT, the techniques that you have. All these are regulation techniques,
true.
right? So it's just
Yeah,
that branches from that emotional regulation,
yes,
as a mother.
yes,
And you have got your tool, which actually is going to be your transforming tool for your life. And that is
yeah,
what you're teaching others as well. So that's
yes,
exactly what is the next step, where you're directing all those, that energy which is throbbing in us, and then which is also, tamed and all that. But how long can you tame it, right? It'll definitely come out and explode, whether it is a positive emotion or negative emotion, right? The positive ones,
yeah,
when it is explode, it comes like an ambition, and we just pursue our dreams unapologetically. But when
yeah,
it is tamed down, it's going to explode, and it's going to manifest in our physical well-being. Now you
absolutely.
beautifully directed those emotions into a mission, where not only a regular thing is going on, but you are also directing it for others, empowering others around you. So beautifully, and this is why this initiative called EQ Talks with the empowering women, empowered, who have already empowered themselves, now are on the way to empower others. So that is beautifully fitting in. And as emotional intelligence goes, I just cannot stop myself admiring those elements in all of our, no matter whether you're doing a technical coaching or emotional well-being, all of us are touching upon those emotion aspect, especially as a woman. So now I
Yeah,
want to touch upon the women aspect again, because our theme is also to be able to celebrate that womanhood in us. I want to let you go with one last question. Of course, I also want you to give some gifts for our women audience. But that one question that I want to really know, from you as an individual, as a woman. You may be, a lot of us are wearing a lot of different hats as a mother, as a daughter, as a daughter-in-law, as a wife, doting wife, or as a caretaker, and as a coach, as a student. We continuously learn also, right? It's also important to be a great student to be able to be a great coach.
Absolutely.
So, and all those multiple roles that we handle, what is that one quality as a woman despite of all those hats, right? We could even be equaling the men out there, right?
Yeah.
But we don't want to lose our core as to who we are, you know, that women aspects, like that feminine quality or any quality, you being a woman, what would you not want to let go at all? I'll start with
Is it
Lata.
to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One thing for me in the past 20 years in the corporate is something I've noticed women who grow higher, get those corner offices and everything. And what I see them doing is to, emulate the men that they have seen in those roles. Um, Somehow I feel that the one thing that I cannot let go of as a woman, no matter what role I am in, is my empathy. Because that's
Mm.
my special power, and that's what makes me me. If I were to let go of my empathy, I don't think I would be me anymore. So then
Awesome.
it don't
Awesome.
matter after that. If I let go of that one thing,
So
there
we
is
just cannot
no
imagine
me.
ourselves with that one element, right?
Yeah, I cannot imagine myself without that empathy part.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Hiran,
Thank you.
you thought through? We're waiting for you.
Yeah,
You better
it
don't
was
break
almost
with voice.
with Lata.
Okay?
It was
What's
almost
that?
resonating with Lata. So if you have to make me stand out of the entire lot, then compassion, kindness is what that
I
defines
knew it.
me. I
I knew it.
go.
We knew it.
Yeah.
Okay? So it may be a minimal conversation with you, Hiran. Okay? With maybe Lata, we would have had some deeper conversation. Again, very minimal transactions that we did. But I know you, who you are, you know, right? So I'm sure that without these two, you are not who you are. And I'm very sure that you will continue to do also. Not certain women, when we speak about these qualities, right? Life can take over, right after they become rich, or anything can happen, or when they go pit bottom, they can turn their versions. But I know a few women like this, and that is why maybe I'm just manifesting this Insta Live with those kind of women that we really don't fake the real raw journey and real raw who you are. And thank you so much for stating that. And I think, I am so happy. I don't have to even tell what is that one thing that I don't want to let go as a woman, even though I throb. But I definitely want to admire and also appreciate the fact that both of you spoke about those elements as emotional intelligence. Like without empathy, I think emotional intelligence itself cannot sustain.
Yes,
And there is also a, cementing aspect, very subtler aspect like vulnerability and compassion, all those human values, right?
yes,
That is exactly what differentiates between us and animals. So
true.
that is what is cementing emotional intelligence together. You name it, any skill set. Without being vulnerable, you cannot even learn. You cannot even, obediently even listen to somebody
Yes,
because you need to be in
Yes.
that spot of I don't know. That is the first
yeah,
vulnerability that we all need to have as a student.
Yeah.
And after the student journey, you get into your life and career happens. And when you go top of your career as well, when you don't have this vulnerability or compassion in your life, we lose our identity as women. So,
Yes.
I have nothing else to add, but just want to leave this conversation in this spirit itself. But also ask you for some gifts for our audience because otherwise I won't let you go. If there is any one particular gift that you would like to offer to our women audience, especially to be able to celebrate this Womenhood Month. If that is so, I'll start with Hiran or Lata, whoever is ready. Lata,
Hiran.
go
Lata.
ahead.
Okay,
If you're ready,
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I am doing a free masterclass on 30th of March at 3 p.m. And like anybody on this call can like DM me to get more details on how to join that. I'm just starting off my online journey because till now it was all organic. But what we are going to do in this masterclass is to try and understand how we can, actually start looking at those aspects where we can make changes and how do we start working on those things. So it's a group coaching call. So anybody
Awesome.
who's interested can. Thank you so
Super.
much.
So you want them to DM you or there
Yes.
is a link in your bio? Okay,
No,
DM
it's
you.
the
Super.
DM.
Super. And Hiran.
Thank
Hiran.
you, Frozen.
No, don't go.
Is it okay
Keep speaking,
now?
Hiran.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm still aspiring to start my side hustle, and I want to work with women who want to connect with their higher self. So you can DM me as I want to connect to my higher self, and I will help them out.
Super. So in short, DM higher self, Hiran will
Yes,
get in touch with you. Thank you.
yes.
Before I could say what are my gifts for your audience, I'm going to say a last hi to
Lou.
Laubrena69. Okay.
Lou.
Oh,
It's Lou.
okay. I'm so sorry to butcher the name, but giving you a warm hug and a shout out for being here. Thank you and supporting us. Thank you so much. And I'm also conducting a workshop, which is very, very interesting, interactive workshop where I'm teaching women how to automate their life and business. So far, if you have been listening to me, you very well can spot the keywords that I've been using. That I'm helping women out there, working mothers or women entrepreneurs who are already into business or aspiring business, two aspects to be able to know those emotional intelligence tools and techniques using AI generated psychometric reports. So I'm going to be giving a concrete data point. There's no more fluff language of, all that emotional thing, but instead there are data points for you to work on it. So after that, you become very clear about your brain power. And then after that, set your goal to stand out. And along with that, if you're an aspiring coach or an entrepreneur who want to do something from your, home space, that you're at the comfort of your home, not leaving your children in daycare, you can also do digital business, which I'm also going to teach you how to automate all your digital transactions using AI tools, which means you don't have to look for agency, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Right there, sitting at the comfort of your home, flexibly work using this AI, which can help you automate your time. You get extra time, save your energy, and be with your family whenever you need to. So this is a workshop for 2 days, 29th and 30th, and there's a link in my bio. There's a form, and also DM me that I am EQ'd, which means I'll get in touch with you. I'll give you some gifts immediately. Somebody who can DM me, I'll give you extra gifts. Apart from that, it is open out there for all women to join, including my guest or anybody of my guest audience as well. Whoever wants their automation on live transactions using your brain power and their business transaction, if they want to start or if they're already into, this is the invite for them. And finally, after all that hurdles for Hiran, and you're here, I manifested you. So that really works. And I'm a live testimonial right now. And Lata, you being here with all your dynamic experience and rich experience for your own personal life and professional life. Anybody out there who has any struggle area, especially women on workplace challenge also, these women can help you out. Okay. So with that, just going to make sure that everybody have been acknowledged and saying a big thank you to both of you.
Thank you.
Honored, and we will.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us here. It was a real pleasure talking to you, Brenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
great.
And
Thank you.
yes, and we will meet again,
Yeah,
once again. Yeah.
sure.
Bye bye.
Bye.